Me and Poncy would like to speak first.
Go ahead.
We need to get Daniel Jones some fucking receivers. These guys are the worst ball handlers since lesbians. I just cannot believe that we've got such a talent. He's got such ice in his veins that thank God we pulled out that win against the Sanders when they were dropping everything. You know, if they worked in a hospital, you would have seen a lot of kids with dents in their heads. It's ridiculous. But yeah, get that man some fucking receivers.
Hello and welcome to the Boys Upstairs Show. This is the Week 16 NFL show.
Woo!
Absolutely astonishing that we're already at Week 16. Only 2 more weeks left in the regular season. Teams have been eliminated from playoff contention. Teams have clinched playoff berths. So things are starting to take shape. 3 great games on the slate this week. And some great people in studio. We have Nickson, Coby, Sean in studio. We also have Sam and Postman joining us via Zoom, and friend of the show, Joe Suarez. All right, so game 1 on the slate here. Coby's going to lead off his team. Bengals are -3. When we woke up this morning, Bengals were -5.5. They are currently -3. The line has shifted a decent amount. Traveling to Foxborough, playing the Patriots, total is 40. Coby.
Coming off the most devastating loss in devastating loss history, Patriots had the most abysmal play ever, and they're known to bounce back from things like that. I know they're hurt from that, but they're looking to turn that around. I mean, that was the easiest game left on our schedule, and now they got to win one. That's tough because they lost that. I mean, that was terrible, but I think we're going to bounce back. I'm definitely taking the under. I mean, we have an amazing defense. And the Bengals have a great run defense, which is kind of our bread and butter. That's how we don't really throw the ball like that, unfortunately. But that's our bread and butter, so I'm thinking it's a under 40 type game. The Bengals are on a 6-game win streak. They're kind of due. They just had a big comeback against the Bucs. I don't know how many times they can get themselves out of that kind of hole. I just think the Patriots are just kind of hungry after last week. I know that left a bad taste in their mouth. I know Belichick probably cursed them out in the most monotone way. And I just think that they're just coming back for blood.
I'll go next. Same picks. Patriots and under. I agree with everything Coby just said. I think that the way that he delivered it in the locker room was like, Jacoby, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. You know what I mean? And like coming from him in that moment was probably the hardest thing to hear of all time. It was the worst loss in NFL history, I think. Just final play, just complete backyard football. And the stiff arm of Mac Jones, like Chandler Jones is his dad. But I do think that they cover here. I liked 5.5 a lot more than I liked 3, but I'll take 3. Could be another push game. Patriots at home, too many points. Give me the Patriots. I also agree it's going to be an under game. Also, a fun fact here, the Patriots average more yards per play than the Bengals, which is kind of crazy considering the Patriots don't have an offensive coordinator and the Bengals have a really high-powered offense. But either way, Patriots +3 and under.
Here, I'm going to go with the Bengals because the Bengals are hot. They are very hot, and I had skepticism about them coming into the season, especially when they lost to the Steelers right away. Joe Burrow was throwing a lot of picks and whatever. And then they come down, and I was thinking, oh, well, they're kind of getting themselves into jams and kind of barely getting out of it. And they go down to Brady and the Bucs last week 17-0 or 17-3. And Joe Burrow and the boys come back, and they fucking fight for the second half and throw up 30-something points. And that was impressive to see. That was very impressive. And each week this season, I'm growing more impressed with the Bengals. And each week, I think that they could be in the Super Bowl again. So I'm not going to touch the total on this game. I don't really with the Patriots. It's really always a toss-up. Considering coaching especially, you never know what kind of game plan Bill Belichick's going to throw in there, whether it's toss the rock around and just keep it at like a 14-7 game, or hey, we're going to play offense today. So you never really know with that. So I would say that's kind of 50-50 on the total. But the Bengals are too hot right now. I understand what you're saying. They're due for a loss after a 6-game win streak, but I don't know. I feel stupid if I took the Pats over them.
We keep giving the Patriots the Belichick effect. Oh, they have Belichick. They can't be that bad. No, they're just that bad. Mac Jones is not that good. The defense is not as good as Coby thinks. That was probably, again, the worst loss in football history. For those reasons, I was taking the Bengals at 5.5. I'm taking them at 3.5 and running. Or excuse me, at 3 and running. Give the Bengals -3.
I don't like the whole narrative that it was the worst loss. Like, it was like a fluke regular season last play of the game. So
it was an important game, though.
I mean,
It was very important.
All right, but I understand the narrative that the Patriots are pushing for a playoff run, and that the Bengals are due for a loss, but the line is -3. I'm taking the Bengals, and I'm taking the over 40. Whatever points is not a lot.
40.
Yeah, it's not a lot at all. So, yeah, over and Bengals.
I'm going to go with the momentum a little bit as well. I like what the Bengals are doing. I'm a big Joe Burrow fan. I got to take the Bengals.
I kind of agree with Sam here a little bit. Not necessarily that this like it just like, oh, an end all be all for the season, but it's kind of hard to get over a play like that. Yep. And then you have to turn around and play a team that's hot as hell. Like, we're talking about the Bengals that, like, you know, they're
hottest team in the NFL.
Yeah, hottest team in the NFL. They're coming off 6 wins. They're leading the division now. The Ravens lost to the Browns. So, you know, I feel like there's too much bad going on one side, too much good going on the other side for me not to pick the Bengals. So I'm gonna take the Bengals -3 here.
Game 2 on the slate here. This one is tough. I don't like this game at all. Jake's not here. I was assuming that he was definitely going to lean Vikings, but as we've said a billion times, -3.5 is very ugly. You don't want to see -3.5. The Giants are traveling to Minneapolis. The Vikings are -3.5. Total's 47.5. Jake's not here, so we will go to Sam.
I've been waiting for this moment where Jake Lewis is not here and cannot defend himself because he picked the wrong day to not show up to this show. Because greatest comeback in the history of the NFL, my ass. The Colts suck. You went against Matt Ryan, who is an awful quarterback, and threw for 18 yards in the second half last week. Him and Jeff Saturday should be thrown in federal prison after that performance. And I mean, I don't even know what the hell went on, but it was just Vikings in the second half of that game. And you can say, oh, it's big momentum, all you want. If your team is having that much trouble and you have to come back with a miracle to beat the fucking Indianapolis Colts and Jeff Saturday, that's a problem. And the Giants just came off of, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's got to be their biggest win of the season last week against the Washington Commanders, which complain about the refs all you want, but the Giants won that game through and through. So I'm going with the Giants +3.5 here. The Vikings spreads have been pissing down my throat for a couple weeks now with the Lions and whatever other games, and the Bills, whatever other games we picked with them. But here I'm hoping this breaks the curse. And I'm also going with the under 47.5 because I'm a big proponent of Wink Martindale on the Giants, and he's ready. I forget, he had like some quote about facing Kevin O'Connell. But if there was one lesson to take away from watching the film last week against the Colts, it's that you can't let them break away in these big plays, and all these big plays, especially to Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson. And containing Justin Jefferson isn't easy, but they're going to have to try. And Giants defense has looked pretty solid, except for when they played the Eagles. But I think the Vikings have been involved in a lot of these trap spreads, and every week they show us that they are not as good as their record shows. Team of Destiny, my ass. Jake Lewis, I would like to hear your response. Oh, wait, you're not here.
I've picked the Vikings twice, I think, on this show. Both times have been historical bad losses. And I don't really trust the Giants either. I don't know why. I just think they've won some very easy games. So I'm going to take the under 47.5. Keep it safe.
I'll follow Sean here. Complete opposite. I'm going to back this up with stats. These teams are both bottom 5 defenses in the NFL, yards per play wise. All year, Jake has been trying to like get this narrative going. It's like our offense has always been great. All we needed was a solid defense. We don't even need a good defense. We just need a decent defense, and we'll be a Super Bowl team. Their defense sucks. They're like 30th yards per play and 30th in red zone percentage. Their defense is bad. They drafted 3 guys in the first round or first and second round on defense. They all are bad. I think that this game is going over 47.5. Another stat for you. The over is 5-1 of the Vikings' last 6 games. I like the over. The Vikings are a team that you cannot put a finger on. Like, I cannot get a good read on the Vikings no matter how hard I try. Last week, if we would have, like, last week was our bye week. If we would have did the show last week and we did a Vikings game, I would have been like, Vikings are legit. I really like Vikings. Next thing you know, they're down 33-0 at halftime. And then they win. It's like, how do you put a finger on that type of team? I don't know. But taking the over, not taking a side. I will also say, though, that if the Giants have any chance of winning this game, it's going to be a shootout. So that helps the over. Give me the over 47.5.
So I agree with Tommy as far as like the Vikings being one of the more inconsistent teams in the NFL. And the reason why I'm going to go take the Giants here is because I feel like the Giants are the complete opposite, right? Well coached, you know what they're going to get. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play good. They're going to, well, not necessarily play good defense, but they're going to play. They're going to keep the score low because they run the ball, they control clock, and they keep the score low. So with that, I'm going to take the Giants because I feel like the Vikings' inconsistency and their up and down level of play has to come back and bite them in the ass at some point. They can't just keep on winning these games. Down 20, down like 4th and 16, crazy one hand it can't keep happening. So I feel like this week is the week where they're gonna play a team that knows its identity. They know what they need to do to win games. They have the same game plan basically every week. They're gonna run the ball with Saquon. They're gonna game manage with Daniel Jones, and they're going to cover the spread. And I'm also where I'm going to disagree with Tommy here is I think that the Giants don't want it to be a shootout because they don't have the outside firepower to handle what the Vikings have with Thielen and Jefferson and all that. So I think that they're going to keep the ball. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to hope and pray to God that their defense doesn't allow 28 points plus. So I'm going to go with the under 2.
So if I'm not mistaken, I believe last week the Vikings clinched a playoff spot.
Yep.
Yes.
They won the division.
Right.
Yeah.
So what happens when you clinch a playoff spot? You start sitting starters. You start not necessarily not playing as hard, but like, okay, nobody can get injured. Okay, let's play conservative. We made the playoffs. The Giants are the complete opposite right now. They're fighting for a wild card spot. They're in possibly, besides maybe the AFC East, they're in the toughest division in football. They're fighting right now, and the Vikings are cruising. That's why I think the Giants are going to cover this spread. I mean, are they a better football team? Not necessarily, but circumstances are everything. And in the circumstances right now, the Vikings are cruising. They're not trying to do too much. They literally just had to come back from 33 against the Colts to win by 3.
I'm switching my pick. Giants. Give me the Giants. Coby's right. Yeah. Fuck that. Like 3.5. I hate 3.5. They're going to win by fucking 3. I don't want it. Give me the Giants. And you're right. They may not play that hard. Like, they don't need to. The Packers aren't a threat. The Lions aren't a threat. They are.
No reason to risk injury. No reason to risk anything.
I'm still taking the under, though.
Yeah.
Oh, no, over.
No, you took the over, yeah.
And then,
taking the Giants.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, I definitely think that the Giants, they're fighting way harder. They're in the, we're desperate, nothing to lose. They're running over an extra man. They're fighting hard. The Vikings are kind of like, okay, if he runs through me, like, all right, like, I'm not trying to get hurt. We got playoffs to play. And I'm also going to take the under. I just think that it's going to be a conservative game. The Vikings aren't really trying to do too much. The Giants are going to run it in a couple of times with Saquon. Maybe they'll get to the 2 and Daniel Jones will throw one in. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I think the Giants are just going to be going all out, maybe get a little bit of a lead. I think it's going to be one of those, like, maybe like a 21-17, maybe a 24-21, something like that. So I'm going to take the under, and I'm going to take the Giants spread.
Take the Giants. I think they're playing really hungry right now. It's a really competitive division. Lot on the line for them, so I'm going to take the Giants in the over. That's all I got.
Our third game on the slate here. This game is on Christmas Day at 1 p.m. The Christmas Day slate sucks. The Broncos are on prime time again.
God damn.
For what reason? I don't know.
Did they get flexed out?
No.
God damn.
Everybody in the summer, I guess, just thought the Broncos were going to be a fucking all-star team, but they suck. Anyway, Our game 3, Packers traveling to Miami Gardens, Hard Rock Stadium. Dolphins are -5.5. Total is 50.
These last 2 games have been tumultuous. I won't lie. They've also been against 3 of the hottest teams in the NFL. And everybody said, oh, they can't play in the cold. They can't play in the cold. They should have beaten Buffalo, and we didn't, because Josh Allen is him, and there's nothing going to stop him. He's definitely the second best quarterback in the NFL behind Patrick Mahomes. The defense is highly suspect. The offense has found their groove again. That being said, they are playing a bad Packers team. And I love how the media is trying to make it seem like, they still have a mathematical chance to make the playoffs. No, they're a bad Packers team, and Aaron Rodgers is the only thing they have remotely going for them. And it's not enough. They're going down to Miami on Christmas Day. They're going to lose. Dolphins are going to win out. They're going to make the playoffs as the 6th seed, and they're going to win a playoff game for the first time in 20-plus years. Go Fins.
All right, I'll finish here. I'm taking the Packers. Fuck the Dolphins. Packers have nothing to lose. Packers +5.5. Give me the Packers.
All right, I'll follow you. You guys drinking the beers there. Looks nice. All right. I'm going with the Packers +5.5 here, and it's not because I think they're going to win. It's because I think both teams aren't great at all. And this is kind of the Packers' time where I know it's in Miami, but Aaron Rodgers in the month of December likes to break hearts, and he likes to break a lot of hearts. He's done it to me multiple times throughout my entire life, and I have felt it dearly. The Packers played a decent game against the Rams next week, which you could say it wasn't decent because it's the Rams, and they suck too. I'm also going to go with the under here just for fuck's sake because it's 50. It's at 50 now, and everyone knows I don't like overs in the 50s. But yeah, I think this is going to be kind of a little bit of a rock fight, and it's going to be a gritty game. It's playoff implications are huge. Packers got to win out, basically. They got to win every game left. And the Dolphins, they got to start picking it up. They're not going to win their division, but their spot isn't concrete yet, so they're still in a little bit of danger. But I don't see this being like a big win for either team in any way. I do think it's going to be close. I'm just going to say Packers 5.5 and the under.
So I'm going to take the Packers 5.5 as well. For a lot of the same reasons that Sam said. It's not that I think the Dolphins are overrated in any particular way, shape, or form. But I don't know. Like, I know the Packers haven't been performing to the level that people thought. Young receiving core. Aaron Rodgers hasn't really gelled. But I sat and watched through that whole Rams game. Even though, the Rams are on their third-string quarterback, essentially, and everyone relevant on their defense is hurt. But the Packers didn't look bad. Like, Watson got some catches. Lazard got some catches. I think that they go into Miami with nothing to lose. They play with their balls on the floor. Aaron Rodgers just comes in there. I'm not saying that they win, but 5.5 is a lot of points. Maybe it's a field goal game. Maybe they only lose by 4. Who knows? I like the 5.5, so I'm going to pick the 5.5. And I'm actually going to touch the over because the Dolphins do put up a lot of points, and I feel like the Packers have to combat that by also throwing the ball a lot. So they're gonna have no choice but to put up a lot of points. So I'm gonna take over 50.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop in. I'm also taking the Packers spread. One thing we talked about earlier was momentum. The Dolphins are on a 3-game losing streak. The Packers are on a 2-game win streak. I think the Dolphins are kind of getting figured out. I mean, beginning of the season, wow, we got the 2 fastest receivers in NFL history. How do you handle all that? Oh my God, Tua is playing good. Not really, but he's got great weapons. Like, they're kind of getting figured out. Having a lackluster quarterback can only get you so far. You can do as much as you want with weapons, but when it comes down to it, would you rather have Aaron Rodgers coming down and making the play for you or Tua? Nobody except maybe Postman is going to say Tua. The Packers, in the beginning of the season, the receiving core, obviously was mentioned before, was not gelling. Christian Watson has been turning the fuck up the past couple of weeks. If he made a couple more catches in the early weeks, you might see the Packers with a winning record if he just doesn't drop a couple more balls. First play of his whole career, he drops like a 90-yard, 75-yard touchdown. If he makes a couple more plays, which are the plays he's making now, this Packers team is a completely different team. Are they going to win? I'm not necessarily sure. Are they going to cover 5.5? I like it. I also am taking the over like Nickson. This has potential to be the sorriest shootout of all time. These are 2 teams who are mid but can score points.
Yeah.
This game could touch the over, which is why I'm picking it, and I think it will. And I just think the Dolphins are starting to get figured out. Aaron Rodgers coming in December. It's time to see if you can make the playoffs. Everybody's doubting you, writing you off. Oh my God, when are you going to start doing Jeopardy? The Jordan Love hype is unreal right now. Aaron Rodgers got something to say. I think he's got to say it in this game. The Dolphins, they have a decent record, but I mean, you're only as good as your record, but I think that this is a very beatable team for the Packers. They're coming in hot. I think the Packers got this in the over.
I don't like that everyone's on the Packers train.
I don't like it either.
I was going to pick the Packers. I think I still am going to pick the Packers, but I mean, the Dolphins are fighting for a good playoff spot, and I think they're going to win, but 5.5 is too much points. So
that's what I agree with you, Sean. I think the Dolphins are going to win the game, but I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
So that's why I
think the Packers pull it out.
Yeah.
I see a universe where the Packers win this game.
Exactly.
But I also see a universe where the Dolphins win, so who knows?
I think the Dolphins are actually going to win this game. I'm going to take the under on this one. 50 is too high. I've just seen too much of the Packers where it's just awful football. I think that's going to come out. I got to take the Dolphins in this one.
They have played a lot of awful football.
Yeah, they play bad football. But I don't know. It's just some in me is telling me, like, they're not making the playoffs.
Yeah.
They need, like, everything to go perfect.
They have nothing to lose.
Yeah, they have nothing
remember,
to lose.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a family, or if he does, they all hate him. So December, Christmas time doesn't mean much to him. So
But he might channel that and use it and fuel that into we have nothing to lose. We might as well try to win this fucking game.
Exactly, yeah.
Either way, time for the best part of the show here. Locks of the week. We will go to Sam.
My lock of the week is Bears plus 9.5 Buffalo Bills. You knew it was coming. I was due for one. I have to take the Bears once at least every 3 weeks. We saw the Bears play the Eagles last week. We lost Roquan Smith, Robert Quinn, Eddie Jackson is on the IR, out for the season. Who else? Darnell Mooney's out for the season. Chase Claypool is injured still. So we were left with scraps. Nothing. And what did they do? They came out and they played with heart last week and kept the Eagles in the game made the Eagles fight until the last second for that win. Kept it in 5, covered the spread easily. Now, it's 9.5. It's in Chicago. This is going to be an old school cold weather game. It's going to be close. This has Patriots Bills from last year written all over it, where one team is clearly better, but you just never know what's going to happen. Khalil Herbert's back, so that should be able to open up the offense a little more, and we've all seen what Justin Fields is capable of, so I don't think anyone is skeptical about that. And we saw the return of Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker last week, 2 very good rookies on the defensive side of the football who make a difference when they're in. They really do. Because we saw what happened in the previous weeks when they were out. They let Mike White climb all over them, and then, I don't know, they've lost every game since fucking September, so it's been like a blur from there. But yeah, I think 9.5 is too much here. I think the Bears are going to lose, but I think they're going to cover 9.5, and that's all that matters.
Lions are playing the Panthers. Lions are favored -2.5. I think the Panthers are maybe the worst team in the league. So I think the Lions are on a very hot roll right now, and I trust in Dan Campbell.
Yeah, I like that pick.
So I'm gonna go with the Broncos Rams under.
Yep.
2 teams that suck at putting up points.
That's the Christmas Day game.
Yeah, great.
Both those teams fucking suck.
They both suck.
They both have less than 5 wins.
Yeah, like
that's a primetime Christmas game. Though.
Yeah, the under's gonna hit. Baker Mayfield versus
Russell Wilson.
Wilson.
No, not even Rippin.
Yeah, Rippin. Baker Mayfield versus Rippin. They're probably going to score 9 points total. Like, it's going to be ugly.
That's a great pick.
I'm going to take the Bills-Bears over. I mean, I know it's not a great time to take the over, but, like, this game just seems like it's a lot of points scored. The Bills are quite Josh Allen dependent. They have not a big run game, not a real offensive line. Defense is pretty good. I think they're going to put points because Chicago's lackluster defense. But I think Chicago's going to give it to them. I don't think Chicago's going to just go down. They're not really fighting for anything, but I think they're fighting to ruin other people's seasons. That's all you really got at this point. I think the over's at 40.5, so both teams just have to score 21. I'm not as sold on the Bills as everyone else. It's not biased because they're in my Patriots division. I just feel like they're so Josh Allen dependent. And I think the Bears' run game, that's their biggest thing. It's cold. It's time to run the ball. That's their biggest thing. The Bills can't run the ball, but they're gonna find a way to throw it. They're both looking to prove different things. Bills Bears over.
If I go with anything, it'll be Bills Bears over, but I don't really have much to back it up.
All right, Bills Bears over is your pick. Cobe just gave all the reasoning, so there you go. I'll go next. I have never felt, and I don't I usually like to put on a jersey. I don't have a jersey right now because I have one jersey from this team, but it's in Bethlehem. I've never felt better about a lock than I do for Week 16, 2022 season right now. The Tennessee Titans do not have their starting quarterback for the rest of the season. They're starting Malik Willis this week. They are still 3.5-point favorites against the Houston Texans. There has never been a better, whatever the fuck they are, 2-11-1 team than the Houston Texans. They almost beat the Chiefs last week, and the week before that, they almost beat somebody else, the Cowboys. They're really good at covering the spread. 3.5 is an ugly number. However, I don't believe in Malik Willis. I liked him coming out of college. I haven't liked so far what I've seen in the NFL, and I don't think that's fair to judge him yet. But in terms of judging him for this game, I do think it's fair to judge him. I think the Texans are going to win this game outright. I like the Texans a lot in this slot. 3.5 is enough points. I like the money line. Give me the Texans. Titans don't have a quarterback. Malik Willis is not ready to play in the NFL yet. Derrick Henry averages 200 yards against the Texans in his career, but the Texans are still a good enough team. Last week they showed fight. The Chiefs and them were going back and forth. The Chiefs led the game 24-21 with I think 4 minutes left, and the Texans came back, got a field goal, tied it, went to overtime. A team that was trying to lose wouldn't do that. Yeah. I think that there are guys on that team like Davis Mills who are trying to prove that they belong in the NFL. Whatever's his name, Damian Pierce.
Yeah. Pierce is a great running back.
I don't know his first name, but Pierce is really good. From UF. I like the Texans a lot. I've taken the Texans multiple times this year as my lock, and I don't think I've hit one yet, but I like this one a lot. Texans plus 3.5 against the Titans. They don't have a quarterback. Give me the Texans. Your lock of the week, Postman?
Sam, this one's for you, and I don't think you're going to like it. Josh Allen is him. He is just, after seeing that drive to end the first half in the Miami game, and not that I needed further proof, but it really cemented in my mind that he is special. And there is just zero chance that their game against the Bears is competitive. There's no way. They're going to blow them out. It's not going to be close. And Justin Fields, while he is talented, has proven that he cannot win football games. And he's not going to only not win this one, he's going to lose by more than 8. Bills minus 8. Lock.
I think that there's been some confusion on what the line is. Postman just said it was Bills minus 8. I think Sam said he said Bears plus 9.5. So I'll look it up on FanDuel and we'll get the line straight. But either way, thank you for joining us. Shout out you guys for being here. Shout out us doing this 15 weeks in a row, not counting bye week. Like and subscribe. Let's enjoy some football this week.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Oh, yeah. Shout out Christmas. We got all this shit going on.
Happy Hanukkah.
Shout out Hanukkah.
Shout out Hanukkah.
Shout out Hanukkah.
Kwanzaa. Shout out Kwanzaa.
Shout out Kwanzaa.
Happy Ramadan.
Yeah. Well, that's the summer.
Now.
But either way, shout out the holiday season. And like and subscribe.